What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Crypto Sherpa Show, where I cover the latest cryptocurrency news articles to keep you up to date on what's going on in the crypto space. And yeah, Bitcoin, woo, we're getting a spike up. We hit 69,500 right now. Did we touch 70? No, we came so close, but that still could happen. And why is that? Well, we all know what was going on this weekend. You had the Iran stuff going on, but hey, if we're in war, that just means we're going to be printing money continuously, and that could flow into Bitcoin. So that could be a change of pace going on there. And what else happened with Bitcoin's price? Did you guys notice the 5 months straight of red candles? Well, this has almost never happened before. Coin Bureau pointed this out because I totally missed it, but this almost never happens. February just closed red, making 5 straight months of losses. Now that's roughly 47% down, $59.2 thousand from October's peak. It's also the first time both January and February finished red back to back. Now, if March closes red too, it would be just the second time ever in Bitcoin's history, because last time that took place was in 2018. If you see right here from where it's highlighted, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So going into 2019, 6 months of red straight candles. And if we look where we're at now, October, that's when we started going down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right now it's showing red in March because the month isn't over yet. But what took place after, though, these 6 months? There was 5 months of straight green candles. So could we be seeing a repeat? This is actually also making me wonder. It's like, we did always question, like, is the bull run delayed? Like, did we just get pushed back a year? And by having 5 months of straight red, could this be the turning point? Like, maybe. So I still have hope that we may be actually we may have another pump, but it may not be a new all-time high, but it may be a new low high. So I'm intrigued, but I do feel like we might be actually in a nice bullish momentum, because at first people were thinking we'd just be having a slow downwards trend going down for the end of the month till the end of the year, because that's how the normal cycles would have played out. But again, if you got pushed back a year, this is making sense for like everything happening. And yeah, so I'm just bringing this to your attention, but like, what other similarities can we take from this? Like, I was also, when I saw that, I was like going, what took place during those times? Well, during that time, I had asked Grok and ChatGPT. But the key events, the crash didn't happen overnight. It was a slow bleed after 2017. So this was the start of the bear run for the 2018 one. So it eventually led downwards and then had a slow upwards for a year. But I don't think we're going to get that. I think this is going to be different. But back then, let's see, the primary drivers, there was 2017 was a dominant ICO mania and Ethereum. Many projects raised big billions in Ethereum and Bitcoin, but then in 2018, project began selling their treasuries to fund operations. So that's what took place in like 2017, 2018, when we started seeing those red months. Also during that time, and like, there was a lot of regulation and crackdown from the United States, China, South Korea, and Japan. So we are definitely living different times because we don't have this regulatory crackdown. Let's see, was there any major exchange hacks? Well, we haven't had any so far. If you don't count, was that Bitwise's $1.3 billion hack that happened last year, or was that 2 years ago? Retail mania exhaustion was there too, but this year, or this cycle, we never had any retail like really feel like it come in. It was all institutions, like whales and the big government institutions were coming in. And was there anything else? Civil war drama, mining pressures. Oh, there are some mining pressure. This is a similarity we're seeing too as well. At the time, mining became less profitable. Inefficient miners shut down some Bitcoin BTC reserves to survive. Hash rate volatility increased the fear of it. So right now, hash rate is low ever. We've seen some miners like BitDealer liquidate their entire Bitcoin holdings. And we have some mining companies just converting over to AI. So we have that going with us too. So yeah, there's a lot of changes from this 2018 6-month red candle to our current time. So we'll see what changes, but I still have hoping that we do see that 5-month green candle. Maybe not maybe not after March. Could happen this month. Who knows? Because tax season, people get money back, refunds, or maybe April. So it's going to be one of these months we may start seeing some green candles again, and fingers crossed on that. But all right, so what else is going on in the crypto and Bitcoin space? Companies are still acquiring. MicroStrategy just made their 101st purchase, and they acquired 3,015 Bitcoin for $204 million at an average price of $67,700 per Bitcoin. So they're continuously dollar cost averaging, and so we know they're going to be doing that continuously. But someone else was buying. Anthony Pompliano's ProCap Financial buys 450 Bitcoin, now worth 30 million. They now hold 5,457 Bitcoin. And so, yeah, they made that purchase, but then the company also repurchased 782,408,000 shares of common stock over the last 10 days. So they made repurchase on that to, lower their dollar cost average? It was to do something. So we still got two big companies buying buying Bitcoin right now. So they're accumulating. And again, these are just the publicly known ones that are just announcing that they bought more Bitcoin. This doesn't go over like all the other people, like the other whales quietly accumulating, just not saying anything. So yeah, but also some pretty good Bitcoin news. Starting March 1st, so this is happening now, all hourly Steak and Shake employees earn a Bitcoin bonus of 21 cents per hour. So if you work at Steak and Shake, they're now giving you a 21-cent bonus every hour you work in Bitcoin. So they're helping their employees stack sats. And I love that. I love seeing everything that's been going on with Steak and Shake since they started accepting Bitcoin, since they started actually at their own Bitcoin reserve. They started funding the Bitcoin organization, or they're doing some donation there. And then what else have they been doing? Oh my God. So now the 21 cents Bitcoin bonus, what's next? What next is Steak and Shake doing? I can't wait to see. So yeah, so that's what's going on in Steak and Shake news and Bitcoin news. Now let's actually go to the articles of what's going on. I mentioned Iran, but it looks like there's an article talking about Bitcoin's crypto volatility spikes as Iran war jitters, and the triggers 128 million liquidation. So the first crypto reaction to the Iran war was chaos, not clarity, and CoinGlass data shows more than $128 million in liquidations in just 4 hours after reports of the IRGC's Operation True Promise 4. Nearly 80% were longs, and leverage traders were leaning the wrong way and got wiped out fast. Now, Bitcoin initially dropped towards $63,000 on the headlines, then bounced as more details came out, but the rebound feels mechanical, not confident. Open interest has cooled sharply, which tells you desks are cutting risk, not aggressively buying the Bitcoin dips. Now, this is a classic panic behavior: sell first, reassess later, and equities are showing the same pattern. The S&P 500 has seen outflows, and Bitcoin's correlation with tech remains tight during stress events. Now, whatever the digital gold narrative says, it's moments like this that Bitcoin trades like a high beta risk asset, not a safe haven. Now, oil price surge threatens to derail the Fed pivot plans. Now, the real risk to crypto might not be the headlines, it could be oil. If the Strait of Hormuz is disrupted, up to 21 million barrels per day could be affected. Now, that is around 20% of the global supply. Even partially disruptions historically trigger instant price spikes. Now, if crude oil holds above $100, inflation comes back fast, and that traps the Federal Reserve. So rate cuts get delayed, liquidity stays tight, and crypto suffers in a higher for long environment. Now, here was a trading view chart, Justin, with a little prediction what could go down because of if oil can hold its 100 price. So it can either, from where we're at right now, it can either go up to 72, which is a nice little pump up, or it could dip us back down to 60,000, which would go us closer to the 200-week moving average if we're still correlating with that. So two possibilities that can come from it. Now, some analysis are floating extreme downside scenarios again, while most institutional desks still see 58,000, 60,000 as Bitcoin key support zone. That floor depends heavily on the Fed not turning more hawkish. Now, there is a counterforce, capital flight, stablecoin demand in parts of the Middle East, and has jumped as local currencies wobble. Bitcoin and USDT become escape valves, but retail flows from crisis regions rarely offset large institutional outflows driven by the macro tightening. Now, altcoins are already showing the strain without fresh liquidity, and Ethereum and the broader sector struggle to sustain rallies. If yields on the US 10-year push back towards 5% on energy-driven inflation, risk assets will likely stay capped. So we'll see what happens here. Again, Bitcoin's price is correlating with the events going around the world right now, and so far it's looking quite good for Bitcoin. So we'll see what takes place here. But yeah, again, if this affects the oil price and that could make a chain reaction going on around the world, then yes, definitely Bitcoin would be affected, as well as all markets. But that's what we have to take from that going on right now. But also, Let's see, I was on the 5-month down, but outflows going with Bitcoin's price. But it looks like with the ETFs going on after a 5-week outflow streak, we finally got green again. So crypto funds saw $1 billion in flows, breaking a 5-week outflow streak. So between February 23rd and the 27th, crypto funds saw inflows of $1 billion. Now, this positive trend broke a 5-week streak of outflows that had cost the market $4 billion, noted CoinShares. And here's the weekly crypto asset flows in US and millions. So we had 5 weeks of just outflows of ETFs. And then finally, in these from the 23rd to 27th, we get a nice green candle. Now, CoinShares analysis attributed the trend reversal to falling digital asset prices and the activity of large buyers. Currently, clients are seeking favorable market entry points rather than reducing positions, and investors allocated the most funds to Bitcoin with $881 million. Now, products betting on the decline of the leading currency also received $3.7 million. So we see from this chart, Bitcoin had 881 and Ethereum 116, and not so much from the other guys. Only the multi-asset received a negative, and Stellar got -0, so it's probably 0.00 something, because if it was 0.00, there wouldn't be a positive or a negative sign. But Ethereum attracted $117 million, marking the coin's best performance since mid-January. Now, among altcoins, Solana remains the undisputed leader over the week. Investments in the coin base instruments amount to $53.8 million, and since the beginning of the year, 156 million Chainlink funds increased by 3.4 million. Now, there's no significant outflow in the altcoin niche, and the majority of investments came from the United States, 957 million. Exchange rate products in Canada, Germany, and Switzerland attracted 34.1 million, 31.7 million, and 28.41 million, respectively. So the United States had a big contribution to this compared to the rest of the world. And here's a chart showing that, where you see United States had a major contribution to the inflows that took place. But again, this happened earlier from February 16th to the 20th, where investors withdrew 208 million crypto from its funds. So yeah, just pointing out, like, this is another bullish sign for actually Bitcoin, where we get some flows going back into ETFs. So that was some news there. So again, I'm feeling the tides are changing a bit. Like, again, I was thinking maybe a $45,000, $50,000 Bitcoin back then. But again, you always just got to pay attention to what's going on in the markets, price action, price movement, what's going on around the world. Because again, like, everything's going to play a fact into how the price is going to move. And so, I don't know, I'm feeling like the bottom is kind of in. So who knows? We may still see a 60,000. Maybe that is the true bottom. And maybe we do touch that 200-week moving average, which is at 58,000, almost 59. It's moving up. So this could be our bottom time. So hey, best thing to do is this dollar cost average. Nibble into it, or if you have conviction, you just want to go all in now and wait to see what happens, do it too. So you go, girl. All right. So yeah, so that's some bullish news going with ETFs, and yeah, so we're getting some good news now. It's been like a week of just bad news all the time, and now it's like I love that we finally got some changes going on. But let's see what else is good happening. Well, it looks like we have a white hat helps recover $1.8 million after a $2.3 million Foom Cash exploit. So white hat hackers are just developers in the space that look for vulnerabilities on chains and then let the creators know about the vulnerability, and usually they get a roar for it, rather than having the project release all their stuff and then someone exploits it and yeah, it gets their money stolen. So let's hear about this recovery that just took place. And hold on, let's take a look at my notes. There we go. All right, so Foom Cash lost 2.26 million in an exploit tied to a Groth 16 verifier misconfiguration, but a white hat recovered 1.84 million of the funds, so at least they didn't lose it all. Now, a white hat hacker helped Foom Cash recover most of the funds stolen in a $2.26 million exploit, underscoring the growing role of ethical hackers in Web3 incident responses. Now, Foom Cash is a decentralized anonymous lottery protocol based on zero-knowledge proofs and was exploited for $2.26 million in funds. Now, the intervention of an ethical hacker helped the protocol recover 1.84 million, or 81% of the stolen funds, and Foom Cash announced on Monday that the pseudonymous white hat hacker Duha identified the vulnerability and secured funds on base before malicious actors could exploit them. Now, while Decurity handled recovery efforts on Ethereum, the protocol said on Monday's X post. And from Foom Cash awarded the White Hat hacker a $320,000 bounty, while crypto security platform Decurity was awarded a $100,000 security fee. So there are rewards when these ethical hackers out there find vulnerabilities and recover some money. Now, by honoring their bug bounty policy, at Foom Club has proven that they take protocol security seriously and value the researcher helping them, wrote the White Hat hacker Duhall in a response to the incident. Now, the fatal deployment oversight led to the $2.2 million exploit. So the $2.26 million exploit stemmed from a fatal deployment error involving a missing command line interface step during the phase 2 trusted setup process. So in Groth 16, if you skip the circuit specified contribution setup in Snark.js, the parameters of the Y gamma and the, what's that symbol? This is called delta, and that's not even Y. The gamma and delta remain set to the same default value, and the two generator wrote Foomin on Monday. Now, this deployment error enables the attacker to trick the protocol into accepting forged proofs because a placeholder was never randomized. So why does gamma equal delta break everything? Well, the Groth 16 verification equation relies on E negative A B, so this formula here. And when you set gamma equals delta, an attacker can set C equals negative VK underscore X to cancel out those terms entirely by then setting A equals, what is that symbol again? I totally forgot. And B equals, I believe that one's beta. I'm not positive, but the acquisition simplifies a 1 times 1 equals 1, and the verifier accepts the proof without needing valid witnesses, essentially protocol accepting forged proofs. Man, this just makes me miss my chemistry days and doing my math and formulas out there. But no, one simple mistake right there can just nullify or just make an extreme vulnerability happen in code. So White Hat hackers to the rescue. The White Hat intervention have become an increasingly common feature of DeFi incident responses, particularly as exploiters move quickly to bridge funds across chains or into privacy tools. And in August 2023, a white hacker and Paradigm researcher, Sam Sun, established a team of ethical hackers known as SEAL, the Security Alliance, surpassing 900 hack-related investigations within their first year, Cointelegraph reported on. Now, the initiative came nearly a month after a hacker stole over 230 million from WazerX, an Indian cryptocurrency exchange and the second largest cryptocurrency hack of 2024. On February 10th, 2026, the Ethereum Foundation partnered with SEAL to create a $1 trillion security initiative to combat crypto wallet drainers. So, I wonder how that's going on with their process. I would love to see if they did make that $1 trillion security just to break the crypto wallet drainer hacks out there. And yeah, if you don't know what wallet drainer hacks are, they're usually like when you sign a transaction and you didn't read through it. You signed a transaction from a sketchy website claiming to give you an airdrop or whatnot. But once you sign that transaction with your crypto wallet, you may be agreeing to, whatever contract you just signed, you could be agreeing for them to be able to remove and move crypto off outside of your wallet. So be careful of that. But I would love to see, if Ethereum did partner with SEAL to do that, because that would be pretty sweet to have that little security asset to it. So White Hat hacker is helping recover money. So everyone says don't get into coding at all nowadays, but I still feel some people should learn how to develop, especially if you're young. And then, because also you may say like, well, we got AI, why do we need it? Well, if you're a coder developer and you still use AI, it just makes it a lot more easier because you actually understand what's going on. So I think we do need some more ethical hackers out there just to help keep our network and blockchain secure out there for all these projects. Now, speaking of Ethereum, we just mentioned that Vitalik is using AI vibe coding to potentially put Ethereum's roadmap ahead of schedule. So let's hear about this. Vitalik Buterin says that AI coding still has massive caveats, but people should expect Ethereum roadmap to be finished much faster than expected. Now, Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin says an experiment that used artificial intelligence to prototype the blockchain's roadmap out to 2030 in just a few weeks could have lessons for developers. Now, this is quite an impressive experiment. By coding the entire 2030 roadmap within weeks, Buterin posted to X on Saturday after a developer made a bet with Buterin in February that one person could use AI to code a reference implementation of the blockchain roadmap. Buterin added that AI is massively accelerating coding and that people should be open to the possibility that Ethereum roadmap will finish much faster than people expect. and at a much higher standard of security than people expect. So, two big things to happen. Now, vibe coding is where AI creates the code for an application, allowing developers to quickly create the software. The practice has become more popular as AI models have improved at coding. However, some warn that AI generated code can be insecure, so it's a warning. Now, Buterin says AI code would have critical bugs, but Buterin said that there were massive caveats to using AI, as the speed at which the code was written means it almost certainly has a lot of critical bugs and probably in some cases stub versions of a thing where the AI did not even try to make the full version. But 6 months ago, even this was far outside the realm of possibility, and what matters is where the trend is going, he added. So Uterin's actually seeing the AI like expand rapidly and just improve even faster. And again, they're using it to start the software, and then the developers finish it off. And yeah, if the AI is creating the code, the developers can go in also too to verify if there's any bugs, security risks out there, and they can make those quick. So they're not letting the AI create the entire code itself; they're letting it create it, and then they come in. But Buterin cautioned that instead of focusing on speed, they should more emphasize should be placed on security. So the right way to use it is to take half the gains from an AI speed and half the gains in security, generate more test cases, formally verifying everything, make more multiple implementations of things, and so on. Now, he said that he was personally excited about the possibility that bug-free code, long considered an idealistic delusion, now we finally become first possible and then a basic expectation. Buterin has been active commenting on the recently released roadmap from the Ethereum Foundation, Straw Map, which outlines all upgrades planned for the next 4 years. Now, he has previously proposed plans to make Ethereum quantum resistant, and on Sunday said the account abstraction or smart accounts would happen within a year. So does that mean 2 years? I was listening to Ivan this morning when he was talking about like people giving like talks about developers and how they're terrible with giving time gauges, and because like he was talking about quantum computing too, since Ethereum was talking about being quantum resistant, and he was pointing out like to an article of like 7 years ago, quantum threats could be 7 years, and then he goes, I'm willing to say 14 because when you hear developers give you how long it'll take, double it. So I thought that was pretty funny. But again, like quantum threats, everything. If we have let's see, what is it? If there is seriously quantum threats out there to Bitcoin, and it does happen, we have much more things to worry about for everything else, because quantum's going to attack everything: internet, your own personal bank account, everything online, the social media. So it's just like, if quantum computing, like if there's truly a quantum threat, like everything's vulnerable to it. So again, there's time, but everything can change, everything can upgrade. There's time to combat it and so on. So if you're still worried about quantum computing and threats out there, don't. Seriously, don't. There's nothing really to bat an eye about it. But yeah, so yeah, back to Ethereum and its AI roadmap, or its roadmap using AI, and just Vitalik Buterin also believing how like where AI is actually going, because he did say like a couple months ago, nah, it wasn't in our realm to do this. Now, just 6 months later, okay, things are developing pretty fast. Let's see where it can go even further in the future. So again, lots of positive signs for Ethereum, their roadmap, and just everything actually going on in the crypto space right now. Now, I believe we're going to start seeing some less fear take place. Bitcoin's currently at a 15. Let me click refresh because stuff might have changed. Nope, we're still at 15. Bitcoin's still currently 69,000. If we take a look at some further charts data on Bitcoin's price, if we look at the technicals, everything's neutral / buy right now. Our relative strength index is showing neutral. And I was taking a look at that RS. I'm not really doing like, I wouldn't compare this to trading wise, but like the RSI index, like it's good to look at the patterns for our stuff to happen. So right now I was looking at 2018 right here, where the red bottom for the RSI charts was low, and we're kind of here in that same position. So again, when I was looking at those charts going on the Coin Bureau for like the 6 months of the redness going, we're currently in 5 months. Like right now we're still red. If we're looking at it currently, that's the 6 month mark. But like we start going up. So I'm feeling like, I don't know, we could have a new bull run. Will we reach all-time highs? I don't know. Maybe not if it's like the previous bull run. Like, hold on, where was the last chart? Previous bull run, we had like a spike, came back, or maybe we might go a little bit higher. That was, let's see, I'm looking at the 2021 chart. So we had our first run, let's say that was October. No, but that happened in That happened in like May or June. Then we had our dip down, and then we had another run up. So maybe this is it. Maybe we're going to have a third one. We've had a couple of them, though, so far going. We had 1, 2, 3. Are we going to get a fourth? I don't know anymore, but I do feel bullish right now. So, yeah, so I love what's going on in the news right now. Does that make me ethically bad for what's going on around the world? But I'm bullish on Bitcoin news, so I love it. But I hope everybody has an awesome day today. It's Monday. Keep stacking, keep watching the price, and yeah, things could be getting interesting this month. So everybody enjoy. Oh, and just a quick takeaway. Happy birthday, Bitcoin Ben. I love you, brother. Man, it's 51 today and still looking young. So stay sexy, brother. And everybody, love you guys. And I'll see you tomorrow with more crypto news. Take care.